Shadow Hearts is a role-playing game released on the PlayStation 2 in 2001. Set in 1913, Yuri Hyuga, a man with the ability to transform into demons, rescues a young girl, Alice Elliott, from an evil wizard. They then go on an adventure across Asia and Europe to stop the summoning of an ancient god. And that's basically all I remember about the story. You travel from town to dungeon just like any other JRPG. There are some good settings, like an abandoned mental hospital and a haunted house with a ghost doll, but these scenes are usually just 4 to 5 JPEGs long. I hear the previous game in the series, Koudelka, has a much better survival horror RPG presentation, but I just couldn't force myself through the dogshit combat. Gameplay consists of turn-based battles where every command is controlled by the Judgment Ring. A line sweeps across a ring, and pressing the X button on specific sections determines whether a command succeeds or gains bonus effectiveness. The ring is also used outside of battle, where it can change the value of items when buying and selling. Items and status effects can change the speed and size of the hit areas. The Judgment Ring keeps battles interesting, even toward the end when you're just using the same attack all spell for every encounter. Getting summons by fighting specific elemental monsters was fun. Even some of the puzzles, as long as they didn't involve backtracking or a maze, were fun. The lack of voice acting really bothered me for some reason. There are only voices in small cutscenes which are just sliding still images. Not having voices shouldn't be a problem. Look at an old RPG like Final Fantasy VIII. That game didn't have voice acting, but had great characters. I think it's because in that game, the characters involve themselves in the entire story. In Shadow Hearts, you pick up a new silent character, are forced to use them in the next area, and then dump them in the party hole for the next character who joins up. Every party member is completely forgettable. There's an old Chinese man, a woman, and a whiny boy with a slingshot. I was actually super excited when you get a vampire, but he doesn't actually do any vampire stuff, and is just pushed out for the next character. Why not have him constantly try to feed on the party members? There's even supposed to be some kind of love story between the two main characters, but I felt nothing. Yuri acts like a petulant child and never redeems himself, while Alice stumbles through the game, constantly getting kidnapped or knocked out. So when you finally get a love confession from Alice, which you only get if you do the quest for her best weapon, you're like, oh, I forgot these people even had emotions. It took me about 26 hours to finish Shadow Hearts, which is the perfect length for any game. I even got all the summons, the ultimate armor and weapons for my final party, and the good ending. So because I finished it, I can say that I did enjoy the gameplay enough. I decided to try this game because everyone online said that this was one of the greatest RPG series of all times. Well, upon further reading, apparently it's the sequel, Shadow Hearts Covenant, that is the good one. But people say you have to play this one because the stories are directly connected. Well, after playing this one, I seriously don't believe in anything anymore. I'd have to give Shadow Hearts a 2 out of 5.